Hello, and welcome to a Sunny Book Nook. Today I'm going to be going through some of my current reads during the reading rush. I don't know why I put those in quotation marks, but I'll be going through what I've been reading during this week, this readathon that everyone is participating in, it seems like, and also going through what I hope to finish reading for this readathon and Reading Rush update stuff. I am not a vlogger. I can't make vlogs, mostly because my setup is a bit too difficult to be mobile, if that makes sense. And so I haven't been filming myself reading, and also I find it really difficult for me to maintain consistency in terms of sticking to my TBR because I'm such a mood reader. So I'll be going over what that has looked like for me as well. Let's talk about what I've been getting through regarding my set Reading Rush TBR, which I filmed a video that is up on my channel with all of the books that I said I was planning on reading. These are the books I have not gotten to yet that I plan on getting to later this week, like the second half of the reading rush. This book I know I can get through pretty quickly. I'm gonna do this sitting outside. It's just been too hot during the day for me to go out in my backyard. Maybe I'll read this tonight sitting outside to fulfill that challenge of not being inside your house. And Black Girl Unlimited and These Ghosts Are Family I'm going to get to after I finish what I'm currently reading, which I will be jumping into. I am currently reading Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid, which is the group book for the Reading Rush. This is kind of difficult to get through, to be honest, because of the amount of cringe I feel while trying to read this, because the white lady behavior is so appalling in a really deeply disgusting and disturbing way. Like, the things that she's doing to the main character of this book are basically predatory. It's beyond microaggressions. It's just so... And I mean, same with the love interest, who is a white man. And there are just so many conversations and scenes that feel so incredibly awkward, and like, I as a reader cannot handle that secondhand embarrassment. It's truly too much for me. And I think that that is doubly true when I'm listening to the audiobook. So I think I'm just gonna try to finish this book with my eyeballs reading it on paper, because at least I can just close the book and put it away and take a breath if I need one when those scenes come up. Because with audiobooks, I feel like if I pause it and I pause that momentum of like chugging along with the story, then I feel like it's harder for me to jump back in. But yeah, I got through maybe like half of it. Well, I think Goodreads said like 46% or something last night. But yeah, hopefully I can get through this by the time the end of this day comes around. Next up, I'm also currently reading something that is not on my Reading Rush TBR. This is just something that I was reading before and obviously didn't quite get through, and that is Angela Davis's Women, Culture, and Politics. I'm only 50-ish pages in, but I definitely need to get through this sometime soon and add it to my nonfiction repertoire. Hopefully I can get through this by the end of the week, and it can be one of my Reading Rush accomplishments, even though it wasn't on my actual Reading Rush TBR. I find with academic texts and nonfiction texts, I have to take some more time and mental energy with it, because it's kind of like reading something for a class, where I'm going in with highlighters and pens, marking up places and marking up quotes that I think if my future self were flipping through the book, I would be like, oh, these are the key point. There's that. And another nonfiction kind of academic text that was on my TBR, if you watch that video, was Fearing the Black Body by Sabrina Strings. I marked up the first bit last night. I read through it. I listened to part of it on audio, but I've realized that, especially with this book, a lot of the text ends up being kind of short short biographies of various people, especially in the first part. Strings talks a lot about the Italian High Renaissance and painters and philosophers in Europe who had a really deep impact on what Europeans viewed as beautiful and what was considered aesthetically pleasing, and how that connected with the racial politics of the time. And so I found that I didn't like sitting through information that I found was not as pertinent as the kind of conclusions that Strings was coming to. So when I was reading it with my eyes, it was just easier for me to kind of skim and, of course, take in the information, but just skim over the parts that were talking about Alexander the blah blah blah, the blah Medici blah blah, like, I don't care. I don't really care that much. So that way I could get to what I considered was the most interesting part of the text. And yeah, so hopefully I can get through. This is what my reading has been looking like so far, but hopefully I can get through the rest of this by the rest of the week, obviously, so I can be like, oh, I did all my Reading Rush goals. And lastly, this is another nonfiction book that I've already read, but I've been rereading because I've been hosting a sort of book discussion, book club situation around it, because my friend who runs this nonfiction leftist theory book club, basically, I think it's called Book Club for the Revolution, if you want to look it up on Instagram, and we hop on Zoom together to discuss books. And for this week, for these meetings, we've been discussing Sister Outsider by Audre Lorde. Finally got a hold of a physical copy, and I reread it, and I reread it obviously going through, pulling out quotes and marking notable things up. Our discussions around this have been really phenomenal as well. I've learned a lot through rereading this and talking about it with other people. But those are all the books that I'm currently reading, because I cannot just read one book at a time. It is really, really not something I can do because my attention span is just... Oh, actually, that's not all the books I'm currently reading. I'm also listening to the audiobook of In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado. And this audiobook has been very harrowing and so, tender and honest. It provides this really, raw insight on someone's really traumatic past and experience in this metaphorical, dreamy, very flowery kind of way. And while I do appreciate the purpose of the writing, it's not quite my style, but I do find the actual story and the actual recounting of Machado's experiences really deeply moving. So I'm halfway through that audiobook, and hopefully I will finish it sometime today. Oh, another book that I finished yesterday that deviated from my TBR was The Rhythmatist by Brandon Sanderson. That book was so good, and I was frantically looking for the rest of the series, and then I realized there isn't the rest of the series. It's not out, and The Rhythmatist came out in 2013, so Brandon Sanderson, what the fuck is up? If you follow me on Twitter, you kind of saw that saga play out in real time. But, oh yeah, speaking of which, follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that. But I think that's all I have for today. I know I kind of have a lot to finish or to read if I want to accomplish what I set out to accomplish, which was my Reading Rush TBR. So I will need to crack down and really encourage myself to read. But so far the Reading Rush has been pretty good for me. I think I've been really happy seeing everyone's daily vlog, seeing everyone's content, and while I'm not participating in the content creation part of the Reading Rush as much, I still find the coming together of the bookish online community to be something beautiful to see, and I love it. I love to see it. We love to see it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stupid bullshit, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.